At the beginning of the movie, we are told that on January 1st, 1863, Abraham Lincoln had freed all the Abyssinian slaves. At that time, there was a king who had 3,000 slaves. The army wanted to free those slaves, and this story is also about this. So the story begins, and we are told that there were many Abyssinian slaves in a village who worked for the British. They were cutting cotton there. After that, they take the slaves and move on. There was a man in the same village whose name was Peter, and this is the main character of our story. He was busy in his worship with his wife and children in his house as if he is praying, and he also cleans his wife's feet. Then two men come there who are asking Peter to go with them, but he clearly refuses to go and he beats them a lot, but one of them threatens him. If you don't go with us, your wife will be killed. Peter gets scared to hear this and gets ready to go with them. He sits in the car of the slaves. Peter's family was very sad. Those people were taking him on the way to the jungle. It's been 2 weeks since they left, and after 2 weeks, they reach a place. There were a lot of Abyssinian slaves. Railway lines were being built there. Peter was also looking at the things around him. There were some slaves who were dead and their corpses were lying there. Peter also moves forward with the new slaves. He was also assigned to make the railway line. There, the British were killing the Abyssinian slaves because they were not working. Now Peter also starts working slowly. He sees that a soldier was beating a man a lot because he was not working. That's when he goes to save him, but another soldier comes and points a gun at him. Now their boss had also come there, who was the leader of all. The man who had pointed the gun at Peter, he takes it away and everyone gets busy working there. A slave who was working with Peter tells him that the leader here is very cruel. He also puts a seal of his own on the faces of the slaves, and he used to take a lot of work from them that their condition at night was so bad that they could not even walk properly. All those slaves were imprisoned in jail at night. There, Peter asks the imprisoned slaves, "Don't you remember your family?" They say that we have given up the hope of being free. Those people say that we can never be free. We will die here. Their trust in God was gone, but Peter says, "No, I have complete faith in my God. He will definitely get us out of here." The next day, Peter gets busy with his work again. The leader had an eye on him. All the slaves were busy working. That's when some soldiers were talking there that Abraham Lincoln has freed all the slaves, and Peter also hears this. There was a guard who was going to kill a slave for not cooking properly. When Peter looks at him, he calls him, and after which he was going to kill him. But the leader forbids him to do so, and ties Peter up and scares him with his hunting dog that the courage inside Peter should end. All the slaves were watching Peter, but no one could do anything. Anyway, he is left after a while, and when everyone was being fed, Peter talks to all the slaves here. You know, Abraham Lincoln has asked to free all the slaves, so how can these people keep us here? Everyone likes what Peter says, and some of his slaves were ready to support him, after which they get busy with their work again. Meanwhile, a slave had died. The guards there tell Peter to put him in a pit, where he had killed the rest of the slaves. Also say to put soil on them. Then Peter sees that the guard was also going to kill him, and then Peter attacks them and beats them a lot. He plays a trick and runs away from there. The rest of the slaves also start running after him, on which the leader and guard shoot bullets, and many slaves died in this fight, but Peter had run away from there. To catch him, now the leader of this place goes to follow him with his 2 guards and his dogs. There, Peter was moving forward with the slaves through the jungle. Poor Peter's companion, the one who was afraid of the crocodile. The dogs attack him. The same leader comes to the companion who had made them his slave. But as the poor man goes into the water to go from there, the leader shoots him. On the other side, the other slaves who were with Peter decide that they will go on different paths, so that someone can escape from them. Peter's foot was also injured. He was very injured. That's why he ties a bandage on his foot and to hide. He dives into a dirty pond. The leader sees that pond and sees a crocodile in the water, and he thinks that Peter can't hide here. Saying this, he goes away from here. The leader's dogs sniff him and bring him to the crocodile, which was floating on the water. The leader tells his companions that his dad had told him that Abyssinians can occupy us. That's why we made them our slaves. When he goes a little further, he sees a hut there. He goes in it, drinks water, warms his knife, and puts it on his wounds so that his wounds don't bleed. But doing this, he feels a lot of pain, and then he goes near a tree and flies with the smoke. And then he was collecting honey and applying it on his wounds. The leader had also seen that smoke and was also coming that way. He says, "No, no, I did not bring, and I have put mud on my body, so that he will not know that I am here." Now they both hide from him. The dogs were moving towards them.